Dante's online.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Harama beef.
Oh man, that's so hard.
Peace.
Peace, everybody. Peace, Dante. Peace, Lamarck. Peace, Moso. Peace, family. Man, can we run that intro one more time, man, please? If y'all don't mind, man. Apologize my excitement today. I'm so excited. This is a good day, but I just need that intro one more again, if y'all don't mind. Hey. Can we get it?
Hey,
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Harama beef.
Ooh.
Islam.
Peace, nobles. Peace. How my brothers doing today?
We good.
So great. Weather is a lot better, my part, than it was yesterday, out doing my vendor event, but, doing great, Sheik, good to see everybody. Islam.
Man, Islam, man. Good to see y'all. I know y'all had a good workout this morning. I missed y'all, man. I got these new Meta glasses. My people got me, so I'm learning how to work them. Peace, Empress. Peace. But I did a workout. Like I said, I'm back in my city of Flint. And so I'm doing things in real time. Well, I told people the internet is just a small tittle of my life. If anybody know me, I love people. I love children. I love seniors. I love dedicating. I'm back home. I'm cutting lawns. I'm out politicking like a politician of truth. And it's a beautiful thing. And the energy that I'm receiving from elders and from the right people, like this is what we need. So I know this more science is real, and I know what we're doing is real. Like I tell people, I'm a real person. Everybody should want to be a part of the BBT, no matter what you claim. This is a school. We're here to learn our nationality and our spirituality. We're not here to convert no one into anything. But with that being said, I don't know if Malik is here. I think Malik is traveling. Can one of y'all nobles please give us our Morse American prayer? It would have been beside myself if I didn't do that before we get into the teaching. Apologies.
Islam. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our God, and our salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Shalom Aleichem, Ayah Sha'ayah, Islam, amen. Peace, light, and illumination. Islam.
Peace, and love. Of course, a lot of people know at the BBT, I don't know if y'all ever heard our aims, but I don't want to stay too far on our aims. I'll just give a little summary of our aims. We have 10 aims of who we are, excuse me, and how we study and what we believe and what we promulgate. And just to give you a summary to clear it up, we are brotherhood of no hate. We are brotherhood of all men. It's now no contingency over ethnicity. over race, over your sex. That's not how I operate. I'm a teacher. I'm a map and a guide. I'm a shaman. I'm a medicine man. You can come to my dojo. You can come to my dojo. All men, women, and children, you can come to my dojo. I have to tell I say, I sit with the kings, and I'm using this as an analogy. I eat with the peasants. Understand what I'm saying, because people don't want to like to deal with liabilities. I do, because I take liabilities and turn into assets. People have to understand this. Things are created. So when you can take something and make it something beautiful, that's the magic. And that's what this more science is. I'm telling y'all, that's what this esoteric Islam consists of. When brothers be seeing my muftis, when I say we are different, we are peculiar, we are meek, we are under the triple rose. I teach the triple rose to all my brothers and sisters. We're not under no other man. We're not under no other man. No one has no jurisdiction over the BBT but the creator. My muftis are the muftis. I'm the map and the guide of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Scientific School, no matter how nobody feel. Am I part of the Moorish Science Temple? Yes, and that's where it stops. All my muftis, all my brothers, all my Adapt nobles, they understand the triple rose, the Paraclete, the Fatimite, and the Jerusalem per se. They have a clear understanding. Why? Because we are a school. We're not no Islamic sect. We're not no government over organization trying to do nothing frivolous. Understand, we don't do that, because law governs all events. You have to understand this. And when you don't understand this, then you operating outside what? The parameters of the law. These is keys. If you don't want to operate under the keys, that's on you. We have ordinance and tenets. We have a declaration, proclamation. We have a divine creed. I challenge people to do some real studies so you don't get caught up in this web. I've been telling people this for years. All my muftis been with me for years. You cannot been following me for years and still don't understand what I'm saying about this type of Islam that we operate. You cannot be one of my brothers that's been with me for years, or even with your family, and you don't have a clear understanding, because I'm my parents' teachers. With respect, my dad is an elder. My mufti's not here because they think I'm just dope. I think they more doper than me. This is just the facts. And when man honor man, what? Man, we honor Allah. That's why my brothers rock with me. We talk about growth and development. What? In everything, we have the same mission. I said, brothers, don't watch us do this. We all have the same mission. What? We should unite. I keep telling people, watch this. The 5-point star and the 6-point star belong to us. What? The teachers. You got to understand these Kemetic keys that I'm giving my brothers and sisters. They broke it down to us in a way to have what? Gangs. And we're not seeing this. All the Masons, these are signs and symbols of the primordial man. That's why I talk about the esoteric Islam. I get everybody's degree of understanding the religion, but it's today we have to come together and be like, okay, it's a higher level to things, because we get the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, but now we got to deal with something that's not going to separate us. What? That's the uniting. This stuff has already been written. It's the uniting. If an organization like the Nation of Islam can clean brothers up and have them doing things in the community, and people say, well, they don't want to rock with that. Well, let's rock with something that's real. What? We're not promulgating nothing. We said we have a nationality and a spirituality. Now you got to understand whatever spirituality that you promulgate. And when you operating with Adapt, with nobles, we understand all of them. Why? Because we teach them. These are the tools in the toolbox to build a what? Perfected man. It's your Moorish Quran, chapter 5. We doing what? Knowing thyself. Man is made in the image of Elohim. Come on, man. The most holy place, the holy place, and the quarter roundabout. I'm talking about esoteric Islam. A lot of times connotated as hermetic, but I'm saying the Kemetic perspective on Islamic traditions. I broke this down a plethora of times. I say I'm going to teach in circles. I understand everybody's lower level of degree of science, but any science is analogy, parable, symbology, metaphors. Words are written in a certain way. Koine Greek. You have to understand paleo, You have to understand these things. And so you can't arbitrarily explain scriptures if you're not using the lexicons to see what these words mean. This is understanding. This is truth. So if you're not willing to do these things and be matter of factual when you coming out the door, then you can't say based off this, and scholarship, this is what the evidence proves. This is what the scholarship says, no matter how you feel about your religion, because your belief system means nothing in scholarship. So when I talk about esoteric Islam, I talk about including the interpretation of Islamic traditions by use of they say Hermetic, but I always use Kemetic arts of astrology and alchemy. I've already done this a plethora of times, so I'm not going to stay in this. I'm going to give you a crash course, because we shouldn't be arguing over nobody level of isms, especially when it comes down to some book. And I say, I'm telling you, I can come from any scholar from your perspective, and they're going to say, sir, ma'am, you should stop if we're going to deal with the origin. I'm not talking about nobody's belief system, because you can believe in a rock. So the seeker of the Hermetic or the Kemetic wisdom, who follows the limitless path of light and whose spirit ignites the truth or the sparks of truth. When I talk about Sufi Islam and higher level of Islam, I'm not here to argue with anyone I tell a person, anything outside of myself is true shirt. I don't believe in something outside of myself. I'm not orthodox. So I tell you these things out the door when you're dealing with me. So it should be no misunderstanding, or you shouldn't get misconstrued. Why? Because every man has a right. The Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, what did it tell you? Tell me what it says. So you shouldn't have a problem with me. I'm not disrespecting you, and you're not disrespecting me. What I'm telling you is who I am and what I profess. It should be no argument or no discussion. So I already gave a highlight of this. I want to kind of get to, how can I say, because I got some notes, but I'm always give a summary. So when I speak of esoteric Islam, it includes the interpretation of the Islamic traditions by use of the Kemetic arts, or the Hermetic arts, you may say, right? Of astrology and alchemy. And a lot of times we discuss the mystical teachings of the Quran from the standpoint of ancient mysteries and modern metaphysics. With this degree, we attempt to understand the message of the Quran in its context, in its structural designs, alongside the principal tenets, so as to unravel the mystique of the very impressive literature. So I'm just, giving a precedent. But the mystery letters of the Quran, read in the name of your Lord who has created. That's Quran 96:1. But I want to get past to all that, because I've done that already. If a person know, I'll just spell some out when I say the Huruf al-Muqatta, or the Hermetic arts of astrology, Kemetic arts of astrology, alchemy, and symbolism are employed to decipher the meanings and potential significance for the human spiritual growth. All this stuff, that's why I tell people there's no argument, it shouldn't be. I don't want to stay too far in that, but it's many ancient texts that were meant for guidance to humanity. The Quran seems to be a book designed for the specific purpose of raising consciousness in human beings. And there are definite evidence of esoteric teachings in the text of the Quran. And despite of it being studied through a millennium, many of those teachings still evade proper explanation. An example of such texts is the mystery abbreviated letters of the Quran, popularly known as the Huruf al-Muqatta. If I might be pronouncing it wrong, you hear me. Therefore, in this dissertation, I try to attempt, and we endeavor to describe their meanings in the context of the Quranic teachings. And so when you see the abbreviated letters, the one is the Alf, is Aries, like the J is the Lamb, is Taurus. It's like a little, almost like a hook, or a snake with a head is Mem, is Sad. I broke that down before, the Quranic order of the mystery letters. I don't have time to do that. I broke that down in the last teaching, but I want to get to the point. I'm going to give you a crash course, and I'm going to get to my topic. Well, my homie said gratitude. Thank you. You're welcome, bro. I thank for the donation. Hold on. Sorry about that, y'all. But a lot of Muslim scholars on the interpretation of the Quran had explained about the abbreviated letters in a commentary. One of the scholars is Alama Abdullah Yusuf. You can look him up. Certain surahs have certain initials prefixed to them. Remember, I tell y'all, man, everything is written in a certain fashion. You got to be able to pull it out because people take things literally. And when you take things literally and you're really not a scientist and you don't know the analogy, the parable, the symbology, and the esoteric meaning of those teachings, you would be promulgating something that's used for hate. Just like in the biblical scriptures, when a certain people that be on the corner screaming at people, they'll use the phrase Laban as literally like they try to use it as a European person. And if that's the case, then are you telling me that Jacob married Laban, aka the white man's 2 daughters? If you're saying Laban, because Jacob married Laban 2 daughters, all you gotta do is research it. You see how easy somebody can get checked? You get the stuttering. Research what I'm saying. Opinions are derived as to the exact meaning of each particular letter or combination of letters. And it's agreed that only Allah knows their exact meaning. So I'm not going to keep going farther. I'll give you a little tittle because I want to set a precedent. There are 29 chapters of the Quran that mention the abbreviated prefixes. When I talk to regular Muslims and they're like, well, how do you know this? I said, because I studied and I have professors that's like 4 or 5 chairs over Islamic scholars and they tell the truth about the Quran. And a lot of people be upset, but that's on them. But the 14 letters out of the 28 alphabets of Arabic language are used in different combinations in those prefixes, among which 2 pairs are homophonic. Homophonic, different glyphs with the same sounds. Remember this, hence making them 12 sound characters in total because each of the homophonic pair of letters in this context act as 1 character. Remember, in the ensuing chapters I'm going to give, is 12 characters appear in a definite order in the Quran, which corresponds to the 12 astrological signs. So when you hear Christians, with all due respect, or a Muslim person saying, well, this don't deal with this, you tell a Christian, ask them and tell them to say, well, what does Maserat mean in your biblical scripture? And then it's nothing to say. Understand what I'm saying. Understand what I'm saying with all love and respect. I'm being nice and humble. We're not humble. I'm giving gratitude. Because no one's going to say what it doesn't say and doesn't say. And I said, well, let's see what Maserat mean. And then we can continue to have a discussion because we're doing things in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. What we're doing right now is illuminating. This is what we're doing. We're putting it on the beam. We're balancing it, right? The 12 characters appear in a definite order in the Quran, which corresponds to the 12 astrological signs, as such that the features of the prefix signatures as astrological signs form the subject of this discussion that we're giving. In the associated, in different verses and different chapters, you're going to be able to see all this. All this, when you read the Quran in this context, when I show you the esoteric meanings of the scriptures, when I can make it universal, when I can use the Kabbalah, when I can use all these tools to prove this from all love and respect. But the abbreviated prefixes summarize certain chapters themselves, and letters in the order or appearance in the Quran represents the 12 astrological signs. And these letters are indicated in tables alongside the correspondence. When I do the lecture, I'll be showing the letter Alf is associated to Aries. Remember, I already broke this down. Remember this? It appears as a prefix in the beginning of the 2nd chapter of the Quran. And therefore, it is the first letter of the Quranic sequence. Astrologically, it refers to the sign of Aries, as it signifies the subject of warfare in the Quran. Also, the fighting of wars was proclaimed for the first time in the chapter of the Quran, which is akin to the archetype of the sign of Aries. The Quran says, and I quote, I'll just give one, and then we got to proceed. Warfare is ordained for you, though it is hateful unto you. But it may happen that ye hate a thing which is good for you, and it may happen that ye love a thing which is bad for you. Allah knoweth, ye know not. Ayat 2:16. A scholar of the Quran, Muhammad Maduk Piktal, has written the following in his commentary on this chapters, and I quote eloquently: all suggestions to the contrary notwithstanding, it seems probable that the whole of this surah was revealed during the first 4 years after the Hijrah, and that by far the greater portion of it was revealed in the first 18 months of the Prophet's reign at Al-Madinah, that is to say, before the Battle of Badr. So I'm not going to continue anymore, but I'll give y'all this part. The letter Alf is also mentioned in the chapter 3 of the Quran. Remember where it says, and I quote, and remember when thou settest forth at daybreak from thy housefolk to assign to the believers their position for the battle, Allah was here nor. Ayat 3:121. Remember this. In verse 3, Ayat 3:121, the mention of daybreak and positions for the battle are the allegorical references to the astrological sign of what? Of Aries. And similar messages are also presented with letter Alf in the verse. Ayat 3:13, Ayat 3:151, Ayat 3:156 and 158, Ayat 3:167 and 157 of the Quran. So I can go through all the astrological signs, but I already done that. I want to speed up. And thanks for the donation. I appreciate everything everybody doing. Hold on, y'all. I gotta take this important call. Hold on. Peace, bro. You? Okay. Yeah, on the corner. That's my mom friend. Okay. Okay, yeah, right on the corner. Yep. Let me know the price, man. I can Zell you or I'll come meet you. Okay, bet that'll work. Bet. Peace and love, bro. Peace. I had to handle that business, y'all. Apologize. That was important. But let's get back to this. But I already spoke on that, y'all. I hope everybody understand that. That's why we want people to come to class. But I want to get to this subject at hand because we on good time. We only 20 minutes in. Y'all still with me?
As long.
Anybody got any questions? I want to give something. I just wanted to clear something up. You know, it's been a joy to be home. Like I said, it's been a joy to be able for people to see you in our essence, to be like, well, and I have to say this for all my Moors brothers out here, why do Moors act like that? And I'd be like, what you mean? You know, I have to be honest. Well, all those videos, they're like, well, you don't act like that. You don't talk like that. And then, you know, and I dress, if everybody see me, I wear my tunics and my turbans all the time. And I'm in my city of Flint. And I promise you, I've never been disrespected by the other man. And when I say the other man, y'all know what I mean. I'm trying to be politically correct or not disrespectful. You know, the other man, you know, they'll be saying, oh, I love your headdress. You know, I haven't wore my fez out too much because, you know, it hasn't been that cold. But, you know, I treat my fez, you know, to me, my fez, it's like, how can I say it? It's a chiefdom. It's an honor to wear my fez. You know what I mean? It's like when the fez is put on my head, it's almost like when a Catholic priest wear his collar per se. It's supposed to make you feel a certain way. It's supposed to make you act a certain way. It's supposed to make you treat your people a certain way, because that's that ish about it. And I say this, all this, man, the way we treat each other, that's all the energy that I'm seeing about this science. And I'm like, what, being proud of who we are. I'm seeing it, and the kid's seeing it. The kid seeing it. Kid asked me, are you a Muslim? I said, well, what type of Muslim are you talking about? And I said, well, I started breaking down science to him. His mama was like, well, anybody never talked to him like that. But he's intrigued with Muslim stuff because he be seeing it on social media, and then he be seeing the stuff, the church, and she be hearing her talk about it. But she was like, he intrigued with this, and that, and the other. And I told her, well, the type of Muslim that I am, it may not be that. But I explained, and she was like, well, that Islam that you got, that science you got, he need to be a part of that, because we don't diss nothing at the BBT. We use the biblical scriptures to explain. We use it. But when certain topics that want to be spoke on, I use topics that need to be spoke on. How? When people ask, or when I see certain vibrations or certain energies, when you see a certain type of more, just because they say they are more, that they feel, or how try to promulgate their personal feelings or agenda on you of how to be a more, or more have to do the outlandish stuff that they doing. That has nothing to do with who you are. That's why the uniting the that's why it was the uniting the Asia. That's why when the prophet had the uniting and all those people at the conference, you had all those brothers and sisters with different headdresses. That's why I said, when you see brothers and sisters like ourselves, we act like we can't have the great Mount Rushmore of us. We act like we got to X each other out. Like, to me, it really doesn't even make sense. Like, you telling me we can't have great men of stature that's done great things and continue to move forward and come together with honor, with dignity, and all the things that we're talking about, all the books that we read, Powernomics, all that. We have the power. What you mean? We talking about it all the time. That's why I say, if religion and stuff was so good, with all due respect, we would have been at the promised land, you would think. I mean, if we loved each other and when something is right, we all would have jumped on a mission already. Why? If that's what we want, if that's what we promulgate, because everyone on here saying this is what we want, I guarantee you right now, if nobody on here have no land, nobles, I bet you everybody say, yeah, I would love to have some land and grow some fruits and vegetables on it, wouldn't they? Right, Boso? Anybody else? Okay. And so, okay. So if that's the case, here go a group of brothers that that we've been telling each other, we got 10 acres.
Right.
Like I said, it be people following me for years, and empresses. I said, what is this science about? Like, what are we doing? Like for real, like when people follow me, especially empresses, with all due respect, y'all, and don't even shout out, don't even holler at me, and don't say peace sheik. To me, it's the same way I feel when I go in Vegas, and then I walk past somebody, so then they hit me up on social media, be like, Sheik, did you walk right past me? Like I'm that dope, like I'm that great. I ain't that great. I ain't got no money like that.
Hey.
Oh, Moso, I mean, for real, man. Like, this stuff shouldn't be that hard, bro. Moso, this stuff shouldn't be that hard. That's why I feel people should see. I done courted people for over 2, 3, 4, 5 years, Moso. I could have been one of these charlatans out here saying, "Oh man, yeah, I can make you some Moorish ID," because you know how many emails I got from people. You know how righteous a person have to be to not fall for that stuff. And when people was inquiring me to do it, come, Sheik, you in Arizona, man? I need an ID. I'm like, I said, I don't do that. All my muftis know. They know if I wasn't right, I could have had the bag. How muftis?
Right.
Come on, because that mean I would have been untrustworthy. That mean I would have sold. I would have been just as worse as all of them. Why? Because look what I've stooped to, knowing I'm not right, knowing I'm hurting my people. That's premeditated. That's premeditated. So I'm doing that to my people. I can't do that. So this is what I'm telling my people, man. Don't just be a spectator. Like we say, no, be a participator. Don't be a lotterer. This is the place of business. We doing work. We want you to patronize with us. We want you to say what's up. We want you to get a turban. We want you to come to class. We want you to work out. If you work out, y'all see us work out. We want you to join us. We are covered. I'm trying to tell you. Man. Come on, my family. Come on, brothers and sisters. And I have a full library. Man, we should be popping like Don Knotts around this place, man. And not just with other people, and I'm not just with my alumni people that get all the books from me. Ask my muftis how many books I'll be sending them every day. But I'll be sending them because I don't want my flesh to be gone where everything I made a profit of. I say, man, there's people at the universities be getting these books from me, emailing me just as much and texting me just as much as my muftis. My dad be right here. I'll be showing my dad. He'd be like, who are they? I say, those students, Dad. He'd be like, well, yeah, you got all them books and that's what they into. He was like, you just gotta be like Cheers. You just gotta go to places people know your name. And this it'd be baffling him like, damn, I said that, I told you. I'm just trying to take something that I learned in academia and with those people that people think heavy and dignitaries and bring it to my people at a young age and do it how? Tax exempt, do it under our religious charter, do it under our fraternal order, so we can be a brotherhood. This is what I'm showing people. All the rest of the stuff is, we don't have time for that. Because I can teach the science all day. And I told people, I said, I'm back in my city of Flint. Once these things happen and we have our brick and mortar, it's going to be a beautiful thing and everybody can help. I want everybody to be a part of it. This is just a template of what can happen in our communities, because ain't nobody going to save us in our neighborhoods, in our community, and in this science but me. I'm trying to tell you, put it all on. Ain't nobody going to save us in this science but me. I got a blueprint. I got a blueprint for the babies. I got a blueprint for our kids, for that, all that. Why? Because I worked in the field. I got a blueprint. And we don't have to change nothing. We're going to have a 7th hour and then summer school until we operate enough to have our own charter. I'm telling you, have our own religious schools under that understanding. When we understand that, then you control everything. We show kids at a young age how to be what? Intelligent, how to work with their hands, how to work with their minds. These are tools. We can do this. And so with this science, we got to be able to spread it. Empresses, you got to be able to, when we talk about the turban is not just fashion. Even though we wear this, we wear morosely dope, but it has to be some under that turban. It has to be some under that fez. Why? It has to be. And it just can't be all jai turkey stuff. It just can't be all jai turkey stuff, y'all. With all due respect. People have to come to a round table with love and give up all the stuff that we know it's not real. We got to get out of all that mystical stuff and let those people have that and don't pay that attention, and let's build, because we can. I'm telling y'all. So we talking about wisdom. I'll give you all this a little of the function of the mysteries in wisdom, because the Islam that I talk about is about knowing thyself. When we put these crowns in our head, it's a whole nother level of understanding. Understand is only two spirits, and man in our consciousness, and woman. When I say man and I don't say woman, don't get caught up, my empresses, because y'all know it's all about y'all. We get it. But in the consciousness, we carry the weight of eternity that ever haunts in the form of consciousness. And thus consciousness is the territory where all the angelic and the demonic entities of human experience resides, and their influence affects the character of an individual. A lot of sages, we also, of many different cultures throughout history, we acquired a connection to communicate with this deep and dark region of human consciousness in the form of, they like to call it the mystery teachings, but it's just a form of God consciousness, auto-suggestion, a plethora of other practices that you would do, where it's tools in the toolbox that we teach and that we learn here at the BBT. That's why I say everything is a craft. It's like when you come to something, I love to be guided, because not saying guided, no one taking you somewhere, but if you're being guided and you're on that same wavelength, that guidance is going to guide you to what you need. Why? Because the spirit is pure. So what it's doing is opening up another chamber of your spirit. It's guiding you to the things that you should be guiding to, because sometimes you was walking alone. Understand that. And you understand this, that what? The spirit works through what? Man works through what? Woman. So we have to be conscious of that God consciousness that works through man, that be telling you something real quiet. Understand this. And just like a child that learns the language of the environment, and as those capacities of perception increase with the growth of that mental faculties in the due course of time, when the unraveling of mysteries to consciousness is similarly a natural process, if not inhibited by external disturbances. So what we're saying, y'all, is that the Hermetic depiction of the Quran or the Quranic mysteries, because the Quran is written in a specific way if we're going to give it in this context, because the Quran is considered as the book of divine guidance by Muslims, whose main subject constitutes man in this context. Please don't get upset. From a Kemetic or Hermetic standpoint, the Quranic mysteries carry a great deal of connection to the Hermetic arts of astrology and alchemy. And the mystery letters of the Quran form the fundamental touchstone in the demonstration of the esoteric teachings of the Quran. Remember, I mentioned that earlier, the Huf al-Mikat, the astrological theme for indicating the Quranic doctrine on various matters, is also strongly symbolized in the Quran. Remember, chapter 52 of the Quran symbolizes the zodiac in this same manner. Remember, I told you research Mazarat in the biblical scripture by mount and a scripture inscribed on fine parchment unrolled, and the house frequented, and the roof exalted, and the sea kept filled. All of the above mentioned verses of the Quran describe the zodiac in the symbolic way. Remember, things is written in analogy, parable, and symbology. I don't come from no disrespect of nothing, but I tell everyone, everybody have their level of whatever it is. And that's okay. That's why I don't debate. I won't do none of that. I'll let a person say whatever, and I'll just keep it pushing. And I say, well, did you do a scholarship? Did you do an academia? Well, no. Well, why are you doing it with me? It's meaningless to me because I'm not going to get into that. I promise you that. But let's proceed. The mount represents the arc shape, that vault of the sky between the two horizons, and the inscribed scripture on the fine unrolled parchment. It portrays the zodiac signs of the ecliptic as they are constantly visited by the 7 planets. Remember? That beet juice blend, fire. And also the zodiac is exalted in the roof, which looks like blue water of the sea. Tell y'all, I'm painting a picture for you. The science we under, I told y'all, I don't have no problem with nobody doing 5 salats, all that. We do the al salat if we choose to. We connected to the creator, nothing outside ourselves. Anything outside ourselves is true shirk. Closest place to find God, Allah, is in the heart. With all due respect, let's proceed. The signs of the zodiac, with their essential archetypal characteristics, constitute the subject of this dissertation in the Quranic chapters that begin with the mystery letters. Remember the mystery letters that is gave. This method helps to converge the archetypal properties of the zodiac to deal with the problems of every kind according to their prospective scope. You see, you got to have the proper tools to do the work. Understand? And thereby making the applied solutions both relative as well as universal. Both relative as well as universal. Both relative as well as universal. So it's another word or phrase we can use in that too, right? SO, Come on now. The consequence of such a wisdom is transformation of a man, woman into a higher and healthier consciousness that is not afflicted by any suffering on account of the evolutionary processes of existence. When you bring harm to no one, I forget what scripture it is, it'll come to me. If the transformation causes the scars of pain in the human soul during the achievement of its objectives, then the most insidious aspects of lust and power become imprinted in the mind, causing it to lose the divine spirit and beauty of its consciousness. Therefore, this method of the transformation of man, woman, into a divine being also depicts the Hermetic or the Kemetic doctrine, which says, we know what? As above, so below. And as below, so above. You have to rock with me. I'm not telling you to believe in nothing, because we believe in fire, earth, air, river. We believe in that. That's sustainability. We're not here to tell you what is this, what is that. When I get in water, when I get in crystals, when I get into showing you symbology from the eye, where everybody can do universally, I'm going to tell you, when you say something negative to certain crystals, when it's froze, you're going to see a negative shape. You're going to see a negative crystal. And when you speak life, you're going to see the beautiful formation of the crystal in its entirety. This is what I'm saying. This is the power of the spoken word. Understand what I'm saying today. The mystery letters of the Quran appears in the following sequence. Remember, they metaphorically represents the 12 signs of the zodiac. Remember, as I explain this stuff, the mystery letters of the Quran, which I explain, where we treat them individually to demonstrate the reasons and modulates of the connections between this and the zodiac signs. Remember the function of these mystery letters as well. When we talk about a group of them, when they appear in the prefix of a Quranic chapter, and I'll do that later on the Kemetic or the Hermetic wisdom of the Quran. We'll do that at later times. But the mystery letters of the Quran, I gave y'all those in order in the Quranic chapters. This is how you see the astrological signs, where the person can't say is this or can't say is that. Even in the biblical scriptures, I can superimpose it. I hope I'm setting a precedent. The Alf, the Lam, the Mem, chapter 2, 3, 29, 30, 31, and 32. I can go through the whole thing. The Alf, the Lam, the Mem. I can break it down and show you in all chapters of the Quran, as it should. The mystery letters of the Quran, according to the individual zodiac signs and astrological properties. The Alf equals greater to Aries equals conflict. The Lamb, the Taurus equals wealth. Mem, Gemini, speech. Sad, Cancer, authority. It's just, I could go on and on and on and on and on and on to show you this, to bring these things to our remembrance. Remember, we talk about the Hermetic wisdom of the Quran. Listen, look into this science, in part one. Listen to this, Joseph, with all love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice from all my brothers, because I'm not here to debate. I'm here to show you higher level. And I'm still giving a schoolmaster. I ain't even went nowhere yet. I haven't went nowhere because I'm just giving a title. I don't want no one to get their head too blew up and, walk around like you was on Ozempic. Excuse my candor. You ain't work out right. Supposed to take a little bit, as my noble Malik say. But the Kemetic wisdom of Joseph, or Hermetic, if that's what you know, watch this. The lore of Joseph is narrated in the 12th chapter of the Quran, which, in contrast to any other chapter, it deals entirely with the sequential biography of Joseph, the son of Jacob. He is the protagonist, around whom much of the wisdom and heroism of the narrative revolve. But watch this. The Hermetic symbolism associated with the style and characters of this story is truly remarkable in the depiction of what? The astrological archetypes. The Quran says in this chapter, and we narrate unto thee, aka Muhammad, the best of narratives, and that we have inspired in thee this Quran, though aforetime thou waste of his needless, 12 and 3, the redemptive principle of love. Remember the Hermetic wisdom of the Quran. Remember, I explained the mystery letters of the Quran. Remember that. They appear in the prefixes of certain Quranic chapters. Keep that in your hippocampus. Remember, the chapter begins with the mystery letters of Alf, Lam, Ra, Aries, Taurus, Leo. That can be allegorically interpreted as what? The conflicts about wealth, community, thus forming the main theme of this dissertation. Remember, Joseph represents, in this context, the archetype of what? Leo, the brightest sign of the zodiac, ruled by what? The Son, expressing the redemptive and the renovative powers of the heart. Jacob, the father of Joseph and his 11 brothers, metaphorically represents the sun, whose rhythmic movements from northern to southern portions of the ecliptic gives birth to what? The 12 zodiac signs, right? In this story, Jacob, aka the sun, is in love with what? Joseph, aka the sign of Leo, because that is where it feels most comfortable in the zodiac. Why? Due to the brightness and the brilliance of the midsummer sign. Stay with me. But Joseph, in order to deserve this esteemed position with his father, stay in context, I'm just telling the story, has to earn it by the surviving these conflicts of his brother about what? Wealth and community, right? The two major attributes of the fixed zodiac signs. The sun is alchemy and it represents gold, right? Therefore, Joseph has to undergo transmutation in the alchemical, crucible of the zodiac, right? And the consciousness, in the consciousness of gold, in order to prove himself worthy of the love of his father. Watch this though. This is what the Quran says. For all my brothers, you got to come with love. When Joseph said unto his father, "O my Lord, lo, I saw in a dream 11 planets and the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrating themselves unto me. He said, O my dear son, tell not thy brethren of thy vision, lest they plot a plot against thee. Lo, Satan is for man an open foe. Thus the Lord will prefer thee and will teach thee the interpretation of events, and will perfect his grace upon thee and upon the family of Jacob, as he perfected it upon thy forefathers, Abraham and Isaac. Lo, thy Lord is nor wise." Ayat 12, 4 and 6. Now watch this, y'all. In these verses, the 11 planets of the dream of Joseph are metaphorically for the 11 signs of the zodiac besides Leo. Stay with your brother. Represented here by the 11 brothers of Joseph, while the sun and the moon stand for the father and the mother, respectively. The interpretation of events mentioned here seems to indicate the sensitive or receptive property of the heart to do what? To recognize the motives behind all kinds of activities by understanding the perspective of the other side, and thereby treating all actions as per their intentions. Remember, the story goes, and I quote, "When they said, verily Joseph and his brother are dearer to our father than we are. Many though we be, lo, our father is in plain aberration. One said, kill Joseph or cast him to some other land, so that your father favor may be all for you, and that and that ye may afterward be righteous folk. One among them said, do harm to Joseph. Not Joseph, but if ye be doing, fleeing him into the depth of the pit, some caravan will find him." Ayat 12, 8 and 10. Now watch this. Let me explain it. This verse demonstrates that the fundamental roots of all conflict in the human communities are in the quantitative value judgment of his people. The brother of Joseph got envious on account of his beauty, which is essentially a qualitative factor. They were inclined to justify their malignant intentions due to the ill perception of the father, who could not see the reason of appreciating the strength of numbers. This also led to the self-deception that righteousness could actually be achieved by undertaking the necessary evil actions, or one might still get the promotion through being failed in examination. It further says, and I quote, "They said, O our father, wilt thou not trust us with Joseph? When lo, we are good friends to him. Send him with us tomorrow, that he may enjoy himself and play." Listen how to set up. "And lo, we shall take good care of him. He said, Lo, in truth, it saddens me that ye should take him with you, and I fear lest the wolves devour him, while ye are needless of him. They said, if the wolf should devour him, when we are so strong a band, then surely we should have already perished. Then when they led him off and were and were of one mind, that they should place him in the depth of the pit. We inspired in him. Thou wilt tell this deep there when they know not. And they came weeping to their father in the evening. See, set him up. O our father, we went racing one with another and left Joseph by our things, and the wolf devoured him. And thou believest not our saying, even when we speak the truth. You see, because he already knew it was the setup. And they came with false blood on his shirt. And he said, nay, but your minds have beguiled you into something. My course is calmly patience. And Allah is whose help is to be sought in that predicament, which he described, ayat 12, 11, and 18. Now, this part of the story shows such levels of depravity as can afflict human consciousness so as to blatantly beguile an individual or group to achieve some devious ends. And this is what I be saying when people be trying to use scriptures in the Quran. They say they're Islamic, and I say, you all out of the tenets on the ordinance of the Quran. How? Because you're using these things, individual and groups, to achieve some devious ends. How? Because you know it's premeditated when you're coming into it. This is what I'm telling people. And the major psychological play here is by arousing the instinctual temptations for pleasures, such as enjoyment and gain, which is the province of the sign of Aries, opposed Leo or opposite Leo. The wolf symbolized is also often associated with the sign of Aquarius, due to the animal's wild and independent nature and its ability to endure extreme cold. The suggestion of a Leo child, Joseph, being devoured by a wolf in the unprotected wild seems rather reasonable, only if the child is not purely true to its purpose or archetype, but the father, Jacob, is not easily deceived in this matter because of his awareness of the true potential of Joseph, which he would realize after passing through the trials of community and wealth. And furthermore, the faith of Joseph and his ability to grow and transform into a more commanding state by learning the wisdom offered by the trials and spiritual experiences. It keeps him content in that hour. Just stay in the context. Y'all with me? I'm almost done. And there came a caravan, and they sent the water drawer. He let down his plane into the pit. He said, good luck. Here is a youth. And they hid him as a treasure. And Allah was aware of what they did. And they sold him for a low price, a number of silver coins, and they attached no value to him. And he of Egypt, who purchased him, said unto his wife, receive him honorably. Perchance he may prove useful to us, or we may adopt him as a son. Thus we established Joseph in the land that we might teach him the interpretation of events. And Allah was predominant in his career, but most of mankind know not. And when he reached his prime, we gave him wisdom and knowledge. Thus we reward the good. Ayat 12, 19 and 22. And as I close, I'm leaving with this. The water drawer, in that context, is symbolized Aquarius, which is the sign popularly depicted as the man carrying a pitcher of water. Research what I'm saying. Joseph is not much valued by the opposite sign of Aquarius, but he receives an honorable welcome in Egypt because the land of Egypt is a metaphor for the sign of Taurus. There, Joseph learns the art of conducting profitable business and the intelligent use of material resources to their best effects. Once educated in the affairs of civilization, Joseph undergoes the spiritual trials meant to determine his purity of intent and purpose in the life. And when I show you pictorials, when I use graphs and things, I just don't have time to show y'all all that right now. But I just wanted to set that little principle of that little aspect of the Quran in an esoteric meaning. You know, it's much, much more I can say, but I don't want to go too long. I just want to give that part. And as we continue to synchronize Quran and go with a higher level of it, just to show people what it's about, to synchronize it before we can get out of that man-made stuff. you know, because I don't have a problem with people levels. But remember, when you say levels, that means it's higher levels. Just like when I talk to my Masonic brothers, that's 32-degree Masons, and they're snowmen. And I say, well, that's when water freezes. 33 times 3. It's nothing secret with me. It's sacred. So I'm just waiting for my brothers and my stars of the East, not my Eastern stars, to come in. Because I know elders, and they proud of me having my charter. They proud of me. They was like, you're going to teach something that the people was afraid to teach, that took an oath. That still promulgate something now. And that's why I'm here. And I'm in my city of Flint. I'm telling y'all, we can build something beautiful. It can be an archetype. I'm telling you. So y'all got to understand, don't let nobody tell y'all no different about what I'm saying. The zodiac, the archetype, creative principles are enshrined in the cardinal signs. All this stuff is in the Quran. All of it is in the Bible. When you research what Mazarah means. Cancer in the backdrop of chapter 38 of the Quran, which begins with the prefix mystery letter, the Saad or the Saad. You remember? I had mentioned that earlier when we were talking about this wisdom of the Quran. All this stuff is there. So when people try to use things to separate us, that's not a scholar. That's not an educator. That's this person that's teaching separation. And we should have enough of that with all these different fraternal orders. We should have enough of that. We should have enough of that. We should have a brotherhood, because the biblical scripture says brotherhood is like sweet oil going down from the head to the beard and to the shirt. People act like they don't know what the order of Melchizedek is. And I say, well, why you don't? People act like they don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm a scholar in what I'm saying. I got a master's degree in what I'm saying from a Christian university. And I studied the Islamic text. I got professors that took me under their wing. That's why I started my own charter. With all due respect, I could not be some lower than me. I'm not going to say beneath, because nothing is beneath me, but I'm not going to be a part of something and take steps back. There's no reason. And I know I'm not a widow son. And all my other European colleagues, that's Scottish Rite Masons, they'll tell you out their mouth, they sons of Muslims. So I had to create my own charter and be willing to build something from solid foundation. I had to be willing to do that. And so I thank all y'all muftis. I thank y'all for being with me, man, and trusting me. And as we go in places, especially in my city of Flint, I really thank my empress and my parents. And what I'm seeing in the city of Flint, y'all, I'm really, really seeing some movement. I'm really seeing some movement. But I tell y'all, man, this work is not hard. We just need to operate just like everybody else and tell our family and friends, why not? Because if we ask certain questions and we all say, well, yes, 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 then we got to show them how they can be a part of this and we can make it happen. I'm telling y'all, man, the Nation of Islam had to start. All organizations had to start somewhere. I'm telling y'all, we can have something like anytime. As I close, y'all, because we're supposed to be, this is like what a lot of we talk about in my civics class and Adapt class. How long I've been? Okay, I got at least 5 minutes because I'm 56 minutes in. Okay. We have to talk about and be able to talk about civics and finances and business and putting money together and understanding different tax codes, because we're giving all our money away and think we're getting the tax return. And I tell everybody, you're not getting no tax return. You're getting the tip to what was took from you out the whole year. The whole thing is support your religious and charitable contribution of your choice and do business in your community and build so you can have things, because you have the right. You're either going to give it to Uncle Sam or you're going to support your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. And that's how you do things in your community, or a community that you choose, or with a group of people that's already on a level to make these things happen. And everybody get a tax exempt receipt.
Wow.
Because what else is it for? Like, what is this for? And with all due respect, especially people who've been following me for years, I'm like, what are we doing? And like, you know, like really, like we can have something. Like when people support, we can really have a library. If y'all follow my Noble Dantes on social media, he's at the farmer's market. He got a table. We have a full library. Like that's the books that we print. That's the books that he have right now, printed and bind it. It'll change a person's life. If your kid going to school for academia, for history, or so-called misnomer African-American history, or for civics, or for anything, he'll have a full course library. Your child will be like, man, why you ain't been introduce me to these brothers? This is what I'm saying. And then for our culture, we have everything. My Noble Dantes, they sell soaps, like real businesses. We have real companies. So I say we a community. And so I just give gratitude to my muftis, y'all. And I challenge everybody to look at yourself and see, what is this science about? You know, I challenge everybody to at least share it. At least share it and get the confidence, and let me build some confidence with you. Every time I'm on here, I ask people to send me your email, if I can at least send you a nice book, an ebook, and you can print it or bind it, whatever, so you can have it for your study. I ask people to send small donations when you come on here. Sometimes there'd be hundreds and sometimes there'd be thousands of people on here. People don't have to give nothing, but I sure would like them to give, for people to give me an opportunity to see what we can do, because I know what we can do with taxes and money. We don't hurt nobody, you know, and everybody can hold me accountable, because it's time. It's been time. And some people just be having ideas, nobles, but I think sometimes the ideal is too big for them. And sometimes the idea may not be justly. It may be an idea because that's what people want to do. And then sometimes that's how people get caught up in the hoopla or in the excitement. Because I know what it takes to have a functioning school 5 days a week. That take a lot of work. With all due respect, you got to have a lot going on. But what the things that I've done, Dantes, and the programs that I've run, I know we can have our 7th hour, and I know we can have our summer program. And once we do that for a while, we'll be able to figure out how we can have our charter school at our temple with a certain group of kids once we figure these things out. But you have to take these steps first, you know, and I know it can happen. Why? Because I work for these programs. We can diagnose our kids. I got people that's counselors and for youth, psychology, my boy Julius, you know, that's licensed for the state. So it's a lot that we can do under the auspices. So that's what I challenge everyone, even single moms and everybody that's on here. I challenge y'all, man. You know, I really do. As we close, I really challenge y'all to hit us up, man. You know, I really challenge everybody, man, to hit us up on our website. Hit me up. My information go on there. At least let me send you something. It can't be hundreds of people on here every week and I ain't sent you nothing. And I keep telling you, I got a full library, and everybody, and over Dantes, I see everybody on TikTok posting books and stuff. And then you ask them a certain phrase or a certain question, and they'd be like, "Oh, I don't know." I said, "Well, you posting a book. The answer to the question is in the book that you post." You know, that's the thing people do now, just post stuff. But with all due respect, y'all, we have a full library. So, and we very, very generous. We want you to do business with us. It's a lot of documents and books that we make converted to ebooks that you probably can't get. But all my muftis here to attest to you, I give bundles. And when you're a part of our community, it's a part of our community. But we gotta get used to supporting something that's real and trying something and coming to a conglomerate, y'all, and building something, especially in an area that can be built. We have to do that. We have to come together. It's too many more that be following me on social media. And I'll be saying, what is this type? I hope y'all don't think this no contest, because I'm in my city of Flint doing real work. Like if people look me up, Minister Goodman, Pastor Goodman, like I've done real work all my life, taking care of single moms, buying kids uniforms. I'm back in my city, and I told people we do real work. And now we have the opportunity to really do some magical things in our city. Why? Because it's available. And it can all happen with how? With the money we give in Uncle Sam. If we donate it to our religious and charitable contribution of our choice, and we get enough people to be okay with giving a small fraction of something beautiful, and everybody be stakeholders. Or what's the purpose? You got to tell me what's the purpose. Oh, people, I ask people about conglomerates. You don't need a whole bunch of something. You need a conglomerate. It's just like when you go to a place and you have a high priest and this and that, or you go to a dojo, or you deal with the Buddhists and you go where the monks at, and when you go somewhere, you have a high priest, or you have its rank and skills, depending on that. What's wrong with that? And then why brothers don't want to be learned by their brothers? If you ain't studied in real life, if you ain't academically astute, if you don't know things and have access to things, why don't you want to have access to that from your brother? What's the ego trip? Like, it behooves me. I'd be like, so how you gonna learn something? If you want to learn Wing Chun sticky hands, and I'm a master student, and I say, well, I do this in my dojo. Oh, well, I want to be part of that. But you dress like me, and vice versa. People seem like, you're like, why y'all ain't kicking with this? Like, y'all look like it. Just like, what's the, huh? Well, here in Arizona, I'm here. So what? People like, oh, is it a temple in my city? To me, that's slander. Why? I'm the temple. We do it on the internet to make it easy. I keep telling people, you got things to be done righteous. That's why I said we'll never be stopped. Why? Because I do things righteously. I don't have to keep changing nothing. I'm telling y'all, what's the issue? I can't be having all these Moors and all these people follow me and with no support. Like, what's the purpose? I can't be having people on here with fez and turbans on. I'll be like, well, what's the issue? Everybody doing something different or saying something different. I'm like, it can't be nothing different. It can't be nothing different. Law and civics is that. You can't arbitrarily explain it. Now, if you're dealing with science and adapt science and you academically trained, you have an expertise that can fall under the clock of destiny. But more science, if you ain't even touched the Moorish Quran and have a clear understanding of that, man, something is not right. Why? Because the divine come first. How the prophet could gather, compile, and divinely prepare a holy book, and a person ain't never even touched it or understand it or can speak how easily of the Moorish Quran and call themselves studying more science, and you ain't even touched or even know the Moorish Quran, not even understanding none of the chapters or have no questions. To me, it don't even make sense. That's what I be saying, and I be like, how can you say you're more and all the stuff you coming out of your mouth is coming from all type of beg and stuff? And talk about we can do we ain't never did no stuff like that. And so you got to tell me why we haven't went any further, because this is the reason. Somebody wanted to say something as we close? I thought somebody wanted to say something as we close, but I really hope brothers really come together, because we can't have all these people following us and we're not to a better place. Family and a land of people not knowing, and the only reason why we don't know because the information is not being shared. And like Dante say, here at the BBT, we willing to share. And a lot of stuff that we wear is like, I call it the Batman signal. We want people to approach us. Here it is, my noble Dantes at the farmer's market. He has his fez on. He have his member jacket with all the signs and symbols. It's a Batman signal.
Islam.
It's just what it is. I know. Gratitude, Dantes. Am I right?
You are right, Sheik. It was. You are right. A lot of people who came to our table, first thing they do is look at a headdress that they're familiar with, but never just seen out in public in front of them. So it is a bat signal for sure. You could call it lead generation when you're out there at a farmer's market. Islam. But then what are you saying when people do come up to your table, especially like my table, if I have books out there and I'm setting up things, I'm trying to just build with them and talk to them about educational programs and, things for their kids and different things that they're into and what their kids are into, and, being able to just provide them with different things, from our storehouse here at the BBT with Sheik. Just be able to provide them with monthly literature for donation. What we doing, suggested donation. What is your child into? What is your child reading? What is your child learning at school and at home? These are different things that you can work with your child on. And that's the beauty of being out there at these vendor events. Honestly, you're out there with the community. They coming up to you, approaching you, literally just based on how you presented yourself, how you presented yourself and what you are, what you represented, just based on regalia and apparel and those things. But then once they come over to you, what are we talking about with these folks? But it's a beautiful thing being out there, Sheik. Islam.
Man, and gratitude for you just even sharing that with us. And that's what I tell my brother. About to go? Yeah. Have a good day. But like I be telling people, man, it's just a pleasure to be out in the public for people to see us in our natural, in our natural state and not on no craziness, because the children need to see it. People need to see it. And everybody on here need to see it. I really, everybody on here need to see it. And I encourage people to follow us. Like, follow us, man. Hit us up, man. And we do real things. My noble Moso on here, my noble Gregory Moso, he's my yacht son Tees. He's also a stretchologist. Like, we got a lot going on. Like, and we do things, we do these stuff in real life. So we just encourage y'all, if y'all in these brothers areas, like Dantes, and where you in St. Louis, right, Dantes?
I'm in St. Louis. The farmers market is St. Charles County, but greater St. Louis area. Absolutely.
Yeah. Moso, and you in Maryland, right? Moso?
Yep. TMV.
Where you do the stretchology at, man?
Man, I'm mobile with it too. I come to you. If you in DC, Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, I come to your house.
Okay. All right. And check out my noble Mayat Son Tees. Like we do a lot. You check out my noble ALO Design Pros, my noble Alonzo. He do all the graphic designs. Like my noble Brian Hicks Bay. You know, he got an album, Transportation of Raw Materials. And like my noble just speaking, that got all the books at the farmer's market. He print and buying the books. But like I say, when you do business with us, we just charge the same price as others. The books we give you is love. Why? Because just let me give y'all the analogy like this. Because I got to do this for y'all. Okay. I always like to use analogy when it's a hole somewhere. We need to have some tools to fix the hole. So let's fix the hole. Here we go. If a book costs, I'll just use an analogy, Melanin, The Chemical Key to Black Greatness. If the book costs $1,750 on Amazon, right? And it's only about, say, 100 pages, and it's a used book. Okay, so we got the book, and we also got the book printed and binded, but we also have the book as an ebook. And you want the book, why wouldn't you get the book for us for a small donation of say we say $40, $50, but we're gonna give you extra. Why wouldn't you want that book? Why wouldn't you want to build your library? Why wouldn't you? And then I say, if you want to print and bind it, you can go to Office Max and Staples and print it and bind it yourself. But why not let the whole body of this? And if you part of this, this is part of our what? This is part of our body. This is like if you administer under the auspices of Mufti, this is part of our regalia. You got to understand it's a certain tax status we're under when we members of something. Why? Because this is what it is when everything go to the storehouse. Even when we buy property for the community, it's under a certain tax code. You got to understand this. The ministers stay in parsonage. It's a religious community. People don't understand. Y'all watch The Sopranos and watching what was happening.
Melanin, the chemical key to black greatness is $2,000 used right now on Amazon. So that's, I'm just talking to them about the Amazon price, and you let them know like, hey, this is what the price is on Amazon. And there's something in there, and you want to get in there and make sure you understand melanin and what it is and things like that. That's why it's so expensive right now on Amazon. I won't give it to you for that price, but for suggested donation, we can link you up with something like that with that information. But it's $2,000 right now on Amazon used.
Yeah. And when I be on the college campus, this is what I always tell stories. A lot of the students be like, no, we'd like to do business with you. It's just like a person saying they can do their taxes. Yeah, you can. You can cut your own hair. You can do a whole bunch of things. You can. But why wouldn't you in a community and it's the people that's doing things use that money to circulate? Why? Why not? Because why? Because we spend it on things. But if we say we into this and we doing something, that money should circulate in the community. That money should circulate. Why? Because the greater good that it's doing. And that's when I say my business is different with others. And I said, man, I knew it was going to happen when I come to the city of Flint, where I love my people, but I'm doing stuff as a charity position. People like, why are you doing this? Like, you can just fill our libraries and teach this and this. And I said, but I don't want to just do that. I said, I don't want to just do that. I don't want to do that. I have enough energy. I feel that we can do this and it don't hurt nobody. We just got to be okay with who we are and spread it with our family and friends. Man, it'd be thousands of people on our social media, man. Come on. We could have been doing this. We could have some beautiful, everybody can come to the first for our opening of our temple and school and community center with all the computers in there, with all the activities. And then we buying property. It's simple. I show us how to do it. And then there's people that know how to fix stuff up. It's people that know how to do all this. The city of Flint is for sale, especially houses. People that go to the viewers of these houses, man, we get our people to go in there, fix them up. Boom, it's a wrap. Now we're talking about ownership. Now we're talking about the great migration. I'm telling y'all, things is changing. Y'all got to understand this. This is how the world works. Just like if it was in like an area where Dante's at, in St. Louis, and how the urban neighborhood is. Am I right, Dantes?
St. Louis has been for sale for many years. All of the historic Moorish architecture, old schools, they selling all of them, really. Everything's for sale. The communities, You know, everything's for sale. So real estate developers, they're buying up all the vacant lots, and with Sheik just letting us know we can do the same thing. We can do the same thing in our areas. You know, I went on my old street. It's 20 plots of land just vacant. They took some of the buildings down. Some of them still, you know, still there, but it's over 20 plots. And this is how a lot of urban areas, like Sheik is saying in Flint, is just like that. You know, they had these 10, 15, 20-year plans, and big investors going to come in and do what they're going to do to it. But Sheik is teaching us as a religious organization, and we set up our charters, we can do the exact same thing in our cities. We
Yes.
get that land as well. So,
Yeah.
you know, we just learning, man, each and every day. And then we go out there and we just get it done.
Yes. Gratitude, Dante, for that. And that's what I be trying to tell people. I'm like, look, we giving it away. We got to look at this. People got to be, as a conglomerate, all the stuff that was fake. No disrespect. Oh, they got 400 acres of McDonald farms, and they got the fake hats. And so, and they got these farms, and they have all that stuff is not real. I'm telling y'all, people in my city of Flint, with me and my partner Vez we're doing, we just got another. We going through land bank, and we going through the viewing. We done built our team up. We got people to pull the permits and all this, and we getting houses for like $4-5 grand. And we going in, we doing all the cleanup ourselves, because I'm in the city of Flint. I got a couple of people working with me. We fixing them boys up. Just imagine you got all your people on under your religious organization, like these big mega churches. I'm just giving a pictorial. I'm not talking about none. I'm just talking about those that got all this money to do this. You like, yeah. You're like, yes, it can be done. I said, I know. And then a lot of property, when you operate it right, it'll be donated to you, because the city will take it off the books. Why? Because they're donated to you. How I know? Because I do this. I'm telling you facts. And you can get grants, and you can get grants, and you can solicit stores for monetary and tangible donations. Why? Because I already done this before. And so that's how the body of people can work, because it's a donation to our temple and school. The body got to be doing it. It can't be for me to get no Bentley. It can't be for me to get no mansion. It can't be for me to buy my Empress a whole bunch of red bottoms. She don't even like red bottoms. Well, she might, but she ain't getting that. She gonna have to get some a little bit longer they comfy.
It's long.
But on the real deal, and I'm glad we had this conversation, because this needs to be had, y'all. This is the other aspect that I'm talking about, y'all. With the game behind, because we're giving that money away, and the laws are set up that we can donate to our religious and charitable contribution of our choice, get a taxes on receipt, and we can. That's how we do infrastructure. That's how you have a religious community. Why? Because funds that's being donated to the organization, that organization is going to get them under that auspice. They're going to be what? Income homes for what? For the people of the organization, and the people that's fixing them up. We making people homeowners. Imagine I'll give y'all another analogy. It's like, it's a house, it's a street called Roseline, Dantes. Watch this. This is how some streets is nice, some messed up. I'm gonna give you two analogies, because this is a beautiful discussion. So on Roseline, it's in the hood, but on the street is all older people that had their houses of 40 years. All beautiful houses. On one side is 3 houses all next to each other. That's abandoned. All 3. The rest of the houses, is all occupied. So me and Vez pulled up, and one of our homies, Corey, we pulled up over there. We outside. All the old people came, pulled up on us like, y'all young brothers gonna get these houses. And I said, man, we love to. And we got to talk. We like, the city should be giving them to us if we keep the yard, because we know we got lawn equipment. We trying to do an initiative for the city, but. We talking, we like, man, the city should give these to us for a couple of dollars. And the old man was like, they should give them to y'all, man, young brothers, and help young brothers become successful, because they ain't going to do nothing with them. Listen, I'll be telling y'all, these houses already been paid for. They abandoned. This is what I'll be telling people, how it's just all messed up. I don't want to be no politician, because I want to do real work. I don't got time to politic. But all these stuff been paid for. So a certain company own them, and then you trying to sell them on all these stipulations. It just need to be a big sale and help people become successful. Because a lot of the houses be needing a lot of work. But make a long story short, he was like, y'all get these houses. I said, yeah, if we can get them for a good deal. But those are the things that people can do, a group of people under a certain auspices. And then on some streets, Dantes, it ain't no houses on both sides. Because in the city of Flint, we talking about like side streets. That's what we call them. Houses on one side of the street, houses on the other side of the street, and it's the middle street in the middle. And it'll lead off to either other side of the street or a main street. So on one street in the neighborhood, it ain't no houses on each side. No houses on
Three
each
houses
side.
per side.
None. All of them tore down.
No, I mean, in general, if the houses were there, is it about 10 or
Yeah.
20 plots either side?
Yeah. Okay. So on each side, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was 16 houses on that street with front and backyards. It ain't none on both. None. You hear me? And then some streets, it's burnt down house, lot, burnt down house, raggedy house. Other side, burnt down house, raggedy house. Then on some streets, it's just no houses.
St. Louis was hit with a major tornado about this time last year, and a lot of those houses that's over there, you know, historic area, old buildings, centuries old buildings, you know, a lot of the houses, you know, they were hit by this tornado, strong winds. City, they're not, the landlords, the houses are still just demolished, collapsed, half houses, you know.
Yeah.
So it's bad. So they're gonna come in there and they're gonna take it. So we got to get in there and get some of that too, because St. Louis been for sale for years, just like Flint, Detroit. Yeah.
And that's what I be telling brothers, like when everybody be watching them shows, I don't want to say the shows, but y'all know all the shows when the people be saying they buying houses and they fix them all up. And now you see all that stuff be fake. Well, this is real. Under the organization, I can show people like, listen, they be like, man, we can really get these and people can really fix them up and we can really turn things around. Like this stuff is not hard. You know, it's land. It's like, it's a lady on social media named Mama Sue. I think she in Dearborn, Detroit. I think, I can't think of her website, but her name Mama Sue. And she owned a whole block in the neighborhood of Detroit on both sides. And she turned it, it's dope. It's dope. And that's a vision that I have, you know, in our communities to say, we can do this. Especially all these, like you said, Dante, there's so many churches in the city of Flint because it ain't a lot of people there no more. It used to be 200,000 people. It's less than 70,000 in the city of Flint. So now you got more dispensaries than churches open, and there's a lot of them sitting. And now here it is, us, the Burning Bush brothers and sisters, that's Moors, that's under the right science, can come and get a good science, good history, good current events, agriculture. You know, work with the hands. The kids can get mentorship. All type of things, have our own infrastructure. So we can go to a place where ain't nobody telling you have to be like this or we trying to convert no one. That ain't you ain't gonna get that here. You're gonna get science, you're gonna get spirituality, you're gonna get history, you're gonna get good teachings, you're gonna get a sanctuary for people to come to. You're gonna get counseling, we're gonna get all that. And we're gonna be a community and culture. And that's what we can have. And the world say we can do it. And that's what we need to do. So I give y'all gratitude for y'all time, man. Do anybody want anything else? If not, man, can somebody give us our Moorish American prayer? If nobody don't have nothing else to give us?
Islam, I was just going to say, lastly, I met a 70-year-old Moor there. He was a part of a Masonic order for many years and different things. He was doing some teaching and things. And what he said was just, you know, the youth these days, you know, you have to approach the youth with a message that is new and fresh. They're tired of hearing the exact same thing that's been preached and taught and, you know, promulgated for many, many years. You know, the youth these days, because those are the ones that, you know, we're really trying to impact youth, single women. You know, we have to come up with them with a new, fresh message. And I told them, you know, that's what we're doing. You know, that's what she do each and every time. That's what we do each and every time we go live, you know, because nationality, you know, is something that is, you know, a lot of folks don't understand what nationality is. And if you try to explain it to them, they'll just say their nationality is Black American, Black person, African American. That's the new fresh message that Sheik's been doing for years now, that we promulgate here at the BBT, and that we must all, you know, continue to do what we need to do to promulgate it in our communities and in our households, even better than what we try our best to do now. Nationality being the order of the day. You know, we are not Black. This is a new and a fresh message that they haven't heard before. You know, so that's what we're doing. And that's what I tried to explain to him. You know, that's the message, nationality. You know, the 3/5 part that you did learn in school, what was nationality and creed? What were those areas that, you know, you missed and that you were not so-called a part of, or you so-called didn't have associated with yourself as the individual, you know, with a so-called, as a so-called citizen, or whatever the case may be, learning those other 2/5, which is what we've been promulgating here, what she promulgates so often on here. that you are not Black, you are not African American. That's the fresh message that, we trying to reach and give to our people. And that's just what I wanted to say. There was a conversation at the vendor event. So that's what, we've been doing, and that's what we must continue to do, be that voice for those who hear that voice. So Islam to that, sheep.
Islam to you, man. And love, gratitude.
Islam. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Aleichem, Ayah Asha Ayah, Islam, amen. Peace, 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 and peace to you.
What up, Malik?
Malik, what up?
Peace.
You at the airport? You at the airport?
Yeah, I had to drive 7 hours. Yep.
Drive safe, man.
Safe travels.
Oh no, I already drove 7 hours. Now I'm about to get on the plane.
Okay, man. Safe travels to you, Noble.
Gratitude. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace and love, y'all. Peace.
Peace and love.
Peace. Lamar, tell Belly happy past solar return.
I will. Absolutely.
Yeah, we got
absolutely.
Empress in
Run
there.
this outro.
Peace.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun. It's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay